Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy Trippy Mitch back with another video. So today we're going to be talking about relationship advice for men in their 20s. Let's check it out.
Yo, Elliot, for the past year, I've made some great progress, not just during your program, but also the time before. Some things that I have improved on. I doubled my savings, became an all around better athlete, learned to better endure suffering, became better at resisting temptation, more masculine appearance, trusting in my abilities. Despite all this, I still feel very much incomplete. This is mainly because I have no woman in my life. I'm only 20 years old, so that might sound silly, but I can't seem to get rid of this thought that as long as I do not have a woman in my life, all the things I mentioned above do not really matter that much. Also, this thought seems
Damn,
to
it's something I could relate with, man. If you're a young man, especially in your early 20s, you don't got a woman, it's difficult to feel like anything you do is matter, like it matters. It doesn't feel like it does anything for you. It's difficult.
motivate me more than I'm comfortable with. Do you have any thoughts on this? P.S. I'm not actively looking for a woman because I do not think it's a good idea to put my focus on that yet. What a hard place to be in. And I empathize, man. I totally empathize with all of you who are in a similar situation to Rob right now, where you're young, right? You're 20. Let me say something about 20 years old, right? Something, and I was thinking about this in regard to myself recently. Um, 20-year-old men are of low sexual market value, meaning that just the way things
It's difficult being a 20 year old trying to get girls. Like, you don't have the money. You're still trying to build yourself up. You're trying to just you're just barely entering the game. You're just barely understanding what women like, what women want. It's very difficult.
today, women don't want you. Women of 20, 22, young women that are around your age that should be interested in guys their age, they're not. And I say should, but it's not even a should. It makes sense. They're interested usually in older men, right? Maybe guys that are 27,
Think about
guys.
it. Girls, when they're in their 20s, are looking for a fun time. They want somebody who has a nice car, somebody who got money, a little bit of money to spend on them. They're not just looking for hooking up. Like, it becomes more difficult when you hit your 20s.
A little bit more resources than you. Also, at 20 years old, it's a strange thing, but you're still like a boy. You're still a teenager at 20, right?
Yeah.
You don't really become a
You are still like a boy, but not in the law's eyes. Because if you mess up, if you make the wrong choice, you can go to jail for life when you're 18. So just because you're 20, you still feel like you're a boy. People look at you like you're a boy. You're not. Because if you make the wrong choice, your life can be over.
early adult, like a young adult, until after 24. That's my opinion. That once you hit 24, now you're a young adult. When you're 20, 21, 22, 23, you're still in that teenage phase because I believe that life works in 12-year cycles, right? Everything happens in 12 cycles, right? Why wouldn't our life work in 12 cycles, right? 12 months, whatever. But we have 12-year cycles, and you could just see from birth to age 12, there's a huge evolution. From age 12 to 24, there's a huge evolution. At age 24 is usually when I get most of my students and the men that follow my videos are age 24, because at 24 there is a darkening of the mind, because you that's when you realize, oh, I'm no longer a teenager, I'm no longer a boy anymore.
This is
And
true.
this doesn't even happen.
This really is true what he's saying. When you're 24, you have a shift. I'm 26, and I remember when I turned 24, I started to see the world a lot different. And I started to see the people who are in positions that they are and how they got there. And I wanted to get there. I don't just want to be like an average nobody. I want to build something. I want to be something. And that really changed after I turned 24. I wasn't thinking about this stuff when I was 20, 21, 22. And quite honestly, I was not having any trouble finding girls at 20, 21, 22 either. But as of lately, it's been more difficult. And I think it's not only a thing that changes with men, I think with women it changes as well. I think when women are in their early 20s, they're more likely to just have fun, casual relationships. But once women hit 24, they start to see the game differently as well.
Consciously, it's something that it just happens. And now you're moving into the phase from 24 to 36. That's when you're really expected to become a man. And I only say this to you because I want to give you hope that you're still, I'm not denigrating your place. I'm trying to give you hope, and I want to show you the way out of this. But I have to acknowledge that you're still a child. It doesn't feel that way because you have testosterone and you have sexual needs, and you are seen and treated like an adult, right? At least at 21. You're still 20, you're not even 21, in society.
Yeah.
But you're still a child, and I know that doesn't sound good. And I don't want you to just to accept that, but I have to say it because it's the truth, right? Because if somebody would have told me that when I was 20 years old, I'd be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Because you're not in my shoes. But I've been in your shoes, and the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because I was thinking the other day about 20-year-old E and how tough life was at 20-year-old E. You know what? One of the things I was thinking about 20-year-old Elliot is that women did not pay attention to me at 20 years old, right? Women didn't start.
That's different with me. They did pay attention to me at 20 years old. But now they're not paying as much attention now that I'm 26 years old. And I think it's because I need to create something. I need to build something. And that's what it is. The older you get, women start looking at you like, what are you doing with your life?
Paying attention to me until I was mid-30s. All of a sudden, I'm mid-30s. And by then, I was married. So actually what I was thinking about was how my life turned out the way it was, the way it did by me getting married so early. And a part of the reason why I married my high school girlfriend, right? I was dating her. And you were in different situations, of course. You know, I had a woman, you had no woman, but these are insight.
Yeah. Nah, I get what he's saying. He's talking to this guy, and he's saying, don't worry about that stuff, man. Like, it'll come. Just because he had it at 20, it's different for everybody.
I have. Even at 20 years old, you know, I felt, even though I had a girlfriend, I felt like, where are all the girls that should be paying attention to me? And there was none of them. That's why, part of the reason why I stayed with my girlfriend. Just being completely honest here, right? I ended up marrying her, and now we have 4 children. But when I was 20 years old, other girls weren't paying attention to me. And I thought I was something special. I thought I was a good-looking guy, right? I thought I had my shit together. I was going to college, I was playing football, right? But the girls weren't knocking my door down. I had friends.
And it's a different time than when he was 20 years old versus when we're 20 years old. Like, now, you have way less than when he was 20. He's like in his 40s. So, like, he's like, this dude's almost twice my age. When he was 20, it was a different time than when we're 20. We're going through this stuff like brand new adults. You know what I mean? Like, this is the first time people have ever experienced what we're experiencing in terms of technology, opportunity. And it's different. 20 years ago, it wasn't like this. It was in the works, you know what I mean? Like, things were different 20 years ago too. Like, it was the first of its time, but now it's like a whole new thing. And like a 20-year-old man now is probably, in terms of financial equivalent, a 30-year-old man of today. Like, when you think about that, a 20-year-old man 20 years ago probably had the same amount of wealth as a 30-year-old man today. That's insane.
That the girls were knocking their doors down. I couldn't figure out why. I don't know what it was, right? Maybe I don't know what it was.
It's because he had a girlfriend. He was taken. He was spoken for. He was already good. The girls knew it. He knew it. Come on.
But with that, if I had the understanding when I was 20 that in 10 years, the girls are going to be knocking down your door, bro. They're going to be knocking your door down, bro. Just give it 10 years. 10 years sound like a long time, right? Between 20 and 30, it sounds like a long time. But if you take those 10 years, right, and you just discipline yourself to keep doing the things that you're doing. You're saving, you're becoming an athlete, you're enduring suffering, you're becoming more masculine, right? You're growing up. Stay on that path, stay on that trend. Stay on that building yourself up, because at that point when you turn 30, that's when this is going to be a funny thing. Check this out because the
Man, I'm staying on that path. I'm trying. It's difficult.
roles. All the 20-year-old girls that aren't paying attention to you now, when they turn 30 and you turn 30, their sexual market value starts going down because women, they age like milk, right? After age 25, if I was you guys, right, I wouldn't deal with any woman under age 25. I'm 40. If something happened and I have to be out there again, I don't think I ever would. I think I'm done with women. If my wife dies or whatever, I don't think I mess with women. But if I did, and I was just thinking this myself, I wouldn't mess with anybody, any girl under 25. They would call me all kinds of names, but I'm like, I ain't messing with anything.
Yo, that's crazy. He's 40. He won't mess with a girl under 25. I'm 26. I don't mind a 40-year-old woman. Like, I would mess with a 40-year-old woman just in terms of if she's attractive and if she's making good money. Yeah, she could be my sugar mama. Granted, it's probably not going to be the same kind of relationship he would have with a 25-year-old woman. He would probably be trying to, give her babies, like make her a stay-at-home wife, all that stuff. Me, I would basically be like her sugar baby. I'd want her to help take care of me, you know what I mean? So I think it's different because he's 40, so he wouldn't expect a 40-year-old sugar mama to be taking care of him. But like, if you're an older woman, if you're in your 40s or 50s, if you're single, lonely, look at these 20-year-old men. Like, I'm telling you, if you're a 40-year-old woman and you want to have some fun and you got money, even more than like fun, you could probably turn that boy into a husband if you treat him right. If you're a 40-year-old woman, for real.
25. So by the time you turn 30, these women that were ignoring you, they're going to start paying attention to you because they already rode the cock carousel. They already had their fun time, their party girl years, right? And you're just achieving your peak. And so they're going to be looking at, oh, this is a good man. They didn't pay attention to you when you were in your 20s. But in your 30s, they're looking at you like, oh, this is a good man to settle down with, right? They're looking for a provider at that time because women need a provider at that point. They realize, my eggs are getting rotten and old and I'm going to die alone. Well, guess what you're going to do?
So that's the thing. If you're a provider woman, I think you can have your choice of men. I don't think you have to be worried. But if you're not a provider woman and you're looking for a provider, then what he's saying is true. If you're like a young woman in your 25s, you can find a provider man. But if you're a 40-year-old woman, you have to be the provider.
You're going to date a 25-year-old girl, maybe a 20-year-old girl, right? As long as she's legal. Right? Because at that point, you have all the options. You have your shit together. You're on the mountain that you've built for the past 10 years.
If you're in his situation, you're a 40, 45-year-old man, you already built your kingdom. Yeah, I understand why you'd go for a younger girl. It makes sense. But if you're a younger man like me, you're trying to build something, you don't got nothing yet, I could see why you might pick an older woman to help you build your kingdom. So it really depends,
And you're going to have your pick of the litter. You're going to be able to do whatever you want. So I don't know how else to put this, right? I put up a meme today. I got to read this meme too because I'm thinking about this. I put it on Instagram. Go on my Instagram. My story. I'm going to find it right now. I'm going to read it. Because I reposted this guy's quote, and I was like, man, he's spot on. My Wi-Fi is not great. Here it is. Matt Boudreau is the name of the guy. I just follow him on Instagram. He said, a message to young men. Take on massive responsibility as early as humanly possible. The compound interest effect of beginning hard work at an early age is more powerful than you can imagine. And he's right. Use this time to be a warrior.
I'm going to say right now, I'm 26, and I'm just starting this YouTube channel a week ago. And so far, it's not been doing great. But I don't care, I'm looking at this like compound growth. Every video I make, I'll get new viewers. And if they keep seeing me, eventually, hopefully they will resonate and they'll subscribe. So I'm just trying, and I'm not even that young. I wish I started this earlier. Like, I'm gonna talk to my little brothers. I got a couple little brothers. I'm gonna try to get them on YouTube. I'm gonna try to just get this family going. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get this moving.
Warrior stage. Be a warrior. Forget about the lover stage right now. The lover stuff will come after you've conquered your career, your education. You got your life together.
All right.
It's the toughest thing, right? Because at this age, that's when I understand that you want a girl. I mean, if I didn't have a girl, I would want a girl too. I understand what you're going through.
I relate with him. You know what I mean? Like, but even if you have a girl, you can still want more girls. It's like, even if you have a girl, you could still want girls. So it's another struggle.
But the best thing you can do is be the kind of man that will attract a woman when the time is right. Right? I don't think it's in your best interest, and obviously you don't think it's in your best interest to go out there seeking and trying to find a woman, because you will probably find some women that you can have sex with. There's no question about that. No question about that. You'll be able to find some women, go on your Tinder app or whatever you do in order to find these women that you can have sex with. But if you're, and dare I say, real man, right? Like that's a kind of term that I don't like, because the feminists use it in a way to make us feel like we're supposed to follow their rules for what a real man is. But to me, a real man is a man that takes on responsibility. A real man is a man that wants to build a kingdom. And there is no kingdom without a queen, because without a queen, there's no children. So you want to be a father. That's my opinion. Right?
Not too early. Do not be a father too early. That's the main thing, yo. Make sure when you're a father, you're ready. You're prepared. You're not just having a baby because you got her pregnant, bro. There's too many young men and young women out here who are having babies, and it seriously slows their growth. Maybe it's different if you're a young woman, but like, quite honestly, I think it's the same. You can have a baby when you're in your 30s, even in your 40s as a woman. And if you do not build up the correct finances that you need in order to be comfortable, you and that child are going to have a very difficult life. So make sure you get your finances in order. That's much more important than having babies. Like, nah.
The father, right? You want to be a progenitor. You want to be generative.
You want
generation,
money.
Right? That's what you want to do as a man. Most of these chicks out there at this particular time are probably not going to be worthy of that.
No, not at 20. At 20, y'all shouldn't have babies. At 20, you and the man are broke. Unless you're a 20-year-old man who's dating a 40-year-old woman, or a 20-year-old woman who's dating a 40-year-old man. You need money. So as a young person in America, maybe in a different country, it's going to be a different story. But in America, as a young person, if you do not have money, you're screwed. You are screwed.
That you might go where you could find that, I'm sure there are. They're probably in Christian conservative communities.
Sure, probably Muslim, not Christian. They're in Muslim communities. They're in Israel, whatever communities. You know what I mean? They're Hebrew, they're Muslim, they're Buddha, they're Buddhist. Like, I do not see very many Christians being very moral. I think a lot of Christians in America are very promiscuous. They're guys and girls.
Right? Go to Christian conservative Christian communities, and you might find young women that want to get married early. Because I think getting married early is a good idea, but just in this time, this day and age, and the climate that you guys find yourself in, most of these women are not worth marrying.
It's a good idea if you know her, you vet her. If you go to school together, that's when it's a good idea. Like he said, he met his wife in high school. That's a good idea. But other than that, be very careful marrying. In America, be very careful.
And when they are finally ready to be a woman, to be a wife, they already been run through. They've already been riding that cat carousel, right? Yeah. This is why a woman needs to preserve her value. During between ages of 20 and 30, there's a flip-flop for men and women. the best thing a woman could do is to preserve her value. A woman preserves her value because a woman is born with value, right? Because she's a woman, she has value. It's her beauty. It's the beauty of a woman that's her value. She didn't do nothing for it. She just...
Sometimes. Some women aren't that beautiful, you know what I mean? Everything's case by case. So you have to, if you're a woman watching this video, plus beauty, it's all subjective. Everybody has a different definition of what's beautiful. So what I think is beautiful, you might think is like ugly.
Out with it, right? Even some of the homeliest looking women still have value because some man will have sex with that, right? If a homely looking woman, right? When I say homely, I don't mean like ugly. I mean like, maybe like a 5. Comes out, she's like, who wants to have sex with me? Most men would, oh, okay, right? Because it's very easy for them because they're a woman. Their job really is to preserve their value by what? Not being a slut, right? Keep your legs closed. Don't be so easy. Don't be giving your stuff away, right? Because for every woman every notch that she has, her value is lower. And I know people don't like to hear this, especially women don't like to hear this, but it's the fact.
It is very subjective. I'm going to say it is a fact to some people. The higher your body count is, the lower your value. Same with if you have kids. If you have kids, some people will not want to be with you. That's just how it goes. But don't let that stop you. If you have a high body count or if you have kids, find somebody who is on equal grounds. That's all you can do is try to find somebody who accepts you for you. And there's somebody out there who will. So just keep looking.
Would you take a woman that has 100 dicks on her belt or has 2? You're going to be competing for the sexual imagery, the imagination, the remembrance of 100 dicks that run through that chick. Her value's lost. She will always be...
She still got value. She still got value. It depends who she's looking to be with and what kind of relationship they're going to have. That's all I'm going to say.
Tainted by all those experiences. Her value's lost. So a woman has to maintain her value until she's married. Then she's truly of value. A man has to build his value. You see how that works? And it's hard work for both if we're doing the right thing. It's hard work for a woman to maintain her value. I don't say maintain her value like be stingy, like these women who have these high standards so they won't talk to anybody. Right? That's perverted too. But be discerning as a woman, preserve your value. As a man, build your value. You got to build your value. You got to build your value. That's what your job is right now. Your job right now is to build your value. So keep doing what you're doing. I know it's tough, but
it's very tough because it's like, build your value as a man, but then as a woman must preserve your value. And it makes sense. It's just tough because it's like, it makes such a difficult. So basically, if you're a man, he's telling you have to go and date a younger woman after you're successful if you want to be happy. If you want to be a very happy man in life, build your success, be somebody who is of value, and then when you're in your 30s or 40s, find a woman who's younger and commit. And that can work, but also I think it's important to just do what you want to do. If you like a girl, if she has a little high of a body count, if you're willing to take the risk, man. Don't care about other people's opinion. Don't care about how they judge you. Do what you want to do in life.
The memory of women from your mind the best that you can. Don't go on Instagram and following these pages with these girls. Don't go on TikTok looking at them shake their booties. It's the most ridiculous thing. I got back on TikTok because I was trying to make some more videos, and they kicked me off again. But as soon as I go in there, I'm like, all I see is twerking. All I see is twerking, or they got this one where like they cover themselves up and then they let their boobies drop. I mean, the whole thing is it's like soft porn.
I'm gonna
If you go
say
on there,
too on my TikTok, I'm not seeing that stuff. I'm seeing like artists making music, people complaining about how expensive everything is. I think TikTok it's very person to person based, and clearly he's a little older guy, so they're probably showing him some younger girls like, "Hey, go out get these girls." Like that's probably what TikTok's promoting. But for me, TikTok is showing me like young creative males who are putting in work. It's also showing me young females who are putting in work, but I'm not seeing too much like twerking or any of that stuff.
be hypnotized. And you think, oh, I need that. Oh, I have to have that. Oh, I want that. Oh, life is worth nothing without that. In a way, you're right. Because like I said earlier, that men build civilizations. Why? Why do men fight? Why do men battle? Why do men build? Women. Because we love women. We do everything that we do because we want women in our lives.
That's true.
You just got to be patient. You just got to be patient. You're doing the right thing. You're on the right path. Just be patient. Don't be needy. And be ready when that right woman shows up. And you know, I've done a few videos. I should probably do more videos. And I want to wrap this rant up. But have high standards for yourself. Have high standards for yourself. Do not settle for these bad attitude women because they're pretty. Do not, pretty face and a bad attitude is the wrong way to go, man. Look for a woman who is humble, right? Who has humility, who respects you. It's hard to find a woman that's going to respect you these days.
What you're saying is very important. I've messed with a lot of different women in my life, and the ones who are the most important are the ones who care about me the most. You know what I mean? The ones who are checking in on me, making sure I'm okay, making sure I ate, stuff like that. The girls who are just trying to hang out, have fun, go home, go back to college, whatever they're doing, they're the ones who are just in it for an experience. So make sure you're selective. Pick ones who are genuinely showing you interest, not just there for a good time.
Makes more money than you, if she's older than you, if she is higher on the SMV chart than you, right? Like, let's say she's a 9 and you're an 8, right? She's not going to have respect for you. She's going to think she could do better than you. You have to find a woman, and I'm going to wrap this up here now, but you got to find a woman that looks up to you. That's the way it has to work, because respect flows up, love goes down. You look down on your woman. Why? Not out of lack of anything. It's because love flows down. You love down. We don't love up. We respect up. I respect my father more than I love him because he's above me. You respect God the Father because he loves us. With a woman, you find a woman that loves you, but the concomitant, when it's rightly ordered, is respect. Find a woman that respects you. You love down to her. That means if you're a 10, she needs to be a 9. If you're a 5, she needs to be a 4. Right? If you make $100,000, she makes $50,000. If you're 30 years old, she needs to be 25 years old.
Yeah.
Down. Women date up, men date down. Men marry down. Why? Once again, because that's the way love flows. Love flows down. Love is gravity. Have you ever heard that? Love is gravity.
I have.
It's heavy. It moves down. So that's what you need to do when you're looking. Okay, I'm done. Done.
Yo, it's your bro, Elliot.
Love moves down. That's an interesting thing to think about. Good way to wrap up the video. Well, just remember that, guys. Love flows down. So I'm going to just say peace out. Thank you for checking in on this video, and I'll be back in another one. It's your boy, Trippy Mitch. Peace.